Ever wondered what happens when we shuffle off this mortal coil? Well, we can't tell you that, but we can tell you some strange superstitions people around the world have about death. So let's dive into the world of the weird and the downright strange. We're starting from the land of the rising sun, Japan, where there is a tradition to hide your thumbs when you pass a funeral procession. Interestingly, the word for thumb in Japanese translates to parent finger, and by concealing it, you're symbolically protecting your parents from death. So, if you find yourself in Japan and spot a funeral procession, remember to keep those thumbs out of sight. Venturing now over to Romania for the next superstition. The Romanians believe that if a cat, particularly a black one, leaps over a corpse, that body is fated to rise again as a vampire. The feline leap of fate could potentially unleash an undead nightmare, so if you happen to be a cat owner, you might want to rethink letting Fluffy attend the funeral. Our journey takes us next to chilly Scandinavia for superstition number 8. Upon someone's death, it's a tradition to fling open the windows and doors. Curious to know why? It's not an invitation for the cold, but a respectful gesture to let the spirit of the deceased leave the house freely. So, the next time you sense a draft, perhaps it's not merely a breeze, but a spirit taking its leave. We're jetting over to India for this unusual superstition. In India, the local lore suggests that glancing back at a house after attending a funeral can usher in a tide of misfortune. It's almost as if the gaze itself has the power to draw in lingering spirits or ill fate. So the next time you find yourself exiting a funeral, bear in mind, no looking back. You wouldn't want to invite bad luck into your home, now would you? Now we're hopping across the pond to the USA for superstition number 6. In the land of the free, there's a belief that if a clock ticks at the exact moment of someone's passing, it's a sign that another death is on the horizon. It's called the Death Watch, and it's enough to make anyone second guess the comforting tick-tock of their grandfather clock. So if you hear a clock ticking, maybe it's time to wind down. Now, we're heading back to Europe, making a stop in Ireland for superstition number 5. Here, the Irish believe that when carrying a corpse out of the house, it must be feet first. The reason behind this is to prevent the spirit from beckoning another family member to follow them into the afterlife. A touching and thoughtful gesture, wouldn't you agree? So if you ever find yourself participating in a traditional Irish funeral procession, always remember, it's feet first. Let's take a flight to China. Here, an unusual belief intertwines pregnancy and funerals. Legend has it that if a pregnant woman visits a funeral, she could risk giving birth to a phantom baby. This spectral superstition springs from the anxiety that the soul of the departed might attach itself to the unborn baby. An eerie notion, wouldn't you agree? However, the answer appears straightforward. If you find yourself expecting, it might be best to pass on the funeral and send a heartfelt card instead. Flying over to Mexico for superstition number 3. Here, in the land of vibrant cultures and spicy cuisine, they harbor a belief that can give you chills. It's said that speaking ill of the dead can bring misfortune upon you. Makes you think twice before you utter a harsh word about those who've journeyed to the other side, doesn't it? It's a simple rule, really, rooted in respect for the departed. Remember, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. Crossing the ocean to Africa for superstition number 2. Here, there's a belief that a bird in the house is a sign of impending death. It's not about the bird's song or its vibrant feathers, but the eerie omen it might carry. This superstition stems from the notion that birds are messengers between the living and the spirit world. So if a bird flies into your house, maybe it's time to fly the coop. Finally, superstition number 1 takes us back to the USA. There's a chilling belief that if a mirror reflects a corpse, it will ensnare the departed's soul, trapping it forever in a ghostly limbo. A frightening thought indeed. This superstition was so potent, it was once customary to cover all mirrors in a house where someone had passed away. So, next time you're at a wake, maybe avoid the mirrors. You wouldn't want to get caught in a reflection. So this is the end of our Deathly Facts video. Until next time, stay curious, stay superstitious, but most importantly, stay undead.